What a pro wants. What a pro needs.
Fucking hot. Boom! I'll grab it. Thanks.
Aaron Rodgers, we were just talking about football.
Hot start.
Yep. We can cut that out and restart.
Speaking of looking better than ever, that hat goes hard, Ticks. Kind of like it.
Tell you.
We're the ones. You're the twos.
Next.
Internation Wake Up. Welcome back, episode 49. Shout out Jeff Locke.
Hey, here we go.
Big Jeff Locke, guys.
Big Jeff Locke, guys. So yeah, as our last little sub episode we had Josh Yoey on. Hope you guys enjoyed that. That was sweet. Really enjoyed that. It was cool. Know what your guys' thoughts on it were.
Yeah, I mean, the dude just kept talking about great stuff, obviously, and it went a lot better than I expected.
I love the cigarette smoke. The
That's
Sacramento
a
Kings
good
was good too. That was a good question. Definitely caught him off guard there. That
Yeah, I don't think he was expecting a basketball question.
His face was priceless too. He was like, was not expecting a question like that. But
Nope.
Yeah,
I'm
and
here for
then
it.
I asked him about how they traded their franchise point guard away.
yeah, I was not happy about that.
yeah, it's tough looks. But we'll review our hot takes from our last episode here. I said that Matthews was going to be the Four Nations Faceoff tournament MVP. I don't even think he was close.
He was actually invisible for
A long time.
a little bit.
Maybe if not the whole
He was more
tournament.
visible than Jack Hughes, but we might talk about that later.
Yeah.
The James said that McCarr was going to lead Team Canada in points for the Four Nations Faceoff.
Yeah, he ended up getting sick, and then he forgot how to play.
So yeah, he didn't lead them. Didn't our captain lead Team Canada?
Yeah, he led the whole tournament.
That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Corey said that Luka was going to have a triple-double in his second game with
Correct.
the Lakers, not his first.
And he still doesn't.
I don't think he has one
And he
yet.
still
No,
doesn't.
he still doesn't.
No.
He came really close. You know where he plays tonight?
Yeah, oh yeah.
He plays in Dallas.
They play in Dallas?
They are in
Oh,
Dallas
what
tonight.
time's this game?
Are they going to boo him or no? You can't boo him.
You can't
That
boo
wasn't his
him.
fault, yeah.
This game has to be on TV, right?
Oh, well, yeah, that's Dallas.
I
Oh.
thought it was in
Aw.
Dallas. They posted a video saying he was going to Dallas.
It's 100% on TNT.
Somebody lied to me.
There it is. On TNT. Dallas at Lakers.
That's even. I mean,
TNT.
they're definitely not down. They're definitely not booing him then.
No. They're going to give him a standing ovation when he scores 12 points on 33 shots.
Well, if they're at
He
home.
just had. Didn't he just have 30 the other night?
I think he put up close to 30.
Yeah, you were close. I mean, you're not that far off. It was like 30, 12, and 8. So you were 2 away.
He looks good, though. Lost a ton of weight already. I saw when he got traded and what he looks like now. That
You know
LA
what?
Ozempic.
You know what it reminds me of? Do you remember when Harden? They were like, "Oh, Harden's out of shape. Harden can't shoot. Harden." Then he gets traded, and the dude looks like he's like
Yeah, the top of the line, pristine in shape.
yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
like in 2 weeks time.
Yeah, we're pulling for a triple-double soon.
I like Luka, so
He's due.
yeah.
He is due. Speaking of Luka, did you see? I saw the other day that they were talking about, like, it was a post I saw. It said, which card would you rather own? And it was 3 cards. I forget the other 2, but there was 3 cards that sold for 6 digits, right? And it was like his Prism Rookie out of 10. This was a recent sale.
Mm-hmm.
Sold for like $360,000.
That doesn't
It's a house.
surprise me at all.
Yeah, that is a house. And the other 2 were like, it was a Caitlin Clark Superfractor PSA 10, and I forget who the other one was. But the Caitlin Clark sold, I think, for like right around 120. And it was funny because it was like Luka at like 360 or whatever it was, another card that was like in the 150 ballpark, and then the Caitlin Clark for like 125, 130. Like, you couldn't have put 3 cards that are like similar like price. Obviously, you're gonna pick the one that sold for the most
His Prism 1/1 has not been found yet.
of this year.
No, his rookie Prism 1/1 has not been. That's like one of the ones
What's his debut
missing.
year?
18.
Do we know?
18.
Corey's about to go by flawless.
I think 18.
Well, I'm gonna look at what prices are for some of those boxes, and
It's the same thing. It's like that's one of the biggest cards never found yet, and Steph
His
Curry's
1/1
Super
rookie.
Refractor isn't found yet.
damn.
You imagine getting that?
No.
Yeah, you got to blow the dust off of it.
Well, not even that, but like I hold it, shake, and I drop it, and then the corners are dented, and
The corner's dented, the card disappears. It's that old. It's been in a box for how long? It just drops and go. I saw, before we move on here, I saw someone on Twitter, speaking of cards, someone pulled a Jackson Churio out of 50,
Yuck.
and had a nasty print line on it. Sent it back to Topps. They sent him back a Jackson Churio non-auto from Topps Chrome out of 10. It was numbered 7 out of 10. And everyone's like complaining. They're like, "Oh, you don't even put all the cards in the boxes, blah blah blah," because like that card wasn't in a box.
Maybe it was a redemption.
Because Topps,
Oh,
no,
that
it would have
wouldn't
been a
be a
redemption, just 1 out of
redemption,
10. And someone was saying that like that card companies make that many cards, not necessarily put them in boxes, which I personally didn't know.
They have to have cards that if you request a replacement, it's of equal or fair value. So they withhold. Do I think it's fair? No, especially with the price of boxes now.
Yeah.
But I did.
So really, instead of having a out of 10 chance to pull that card, it's probably really like an 8.
Yes.
There's only 8 of them probably in boxes. But I thought that was off topic, but thought that was interesting. Tiggs, I don't know what the hell you were thinking here, but he said that Sweden was going to win the Four Nations Faceoff.
I mean, I give him props. He went for the moon there.
The moon and the stars and Mars.
I mean, he could have said Finland.
That is true. That is very true. And Dylan said Gensel's going to lead Team USA in goals for the Four Nations Faceoff.
Bang, bang.
That did indeed hit. Shout out you.
Because he was technically tied for the lead, or tied for Team USA lead, but
He was.
it is lead nonetheless.
Tied for the lead. I think it's a technicality win.
Tied for the lead.
Yeah.
Still a lead.
Tied. Maybe we'll
Just
count that as a half. So you got a 10.5 wins now.
How about you give me 10.8? Can we do that?
10.8.
Yeah, 10.8.
How about 7.5? We'll call it even.
I'll call 7.5.
All right. We'll review our hot takes all-time record here. I'm still in first at 12 and 35. Dill is 10.75 and 36. The James still sort of Hall of Fame numbers. Been on a kind of a quiet streak recently. 8 and 16. Tiggs 7 and 40. He was doing good for a while.
Club,
yeah, welcome to the 40 Club.
Nice to see you.
Yep, 2-2. And speaking of the 40 Club, Corey 5 and 42. Anything to say?
We'll get him next time. We'll get him next time.
10 before 50. 5 before 8.
Can I get 6 before 80? like this pace, I feel like that is more likely to happen.
I don't know.
We'll
Why don't
see.
you redeem yourself? There's not much to talk about in football, as we all know. The Super Bowl's over.
Yep.
Combine is coming up shortly here.
You're going to be in your backyard with the 5 of us.
Yeah, we're gonna be, instead of the 40-yard dash, we're gonna do a suicide, one and back, because I don't think my yard's 40 yards.
We'll
But yeah, I'll get a
We'll do it on
roller.
the concrete.
yeah, slip and fall.
Until I fall.
See you later, kneecaps.
Good thing my street's not flat, so I'm hill inclined. Anyways, take it over.
All right, well, college news. I mean, obviously, not a lot to report on here, but saw something pretty crazy on Twitter. I don't know if it's true or not, but the SEC and Big Ten could combine with the ACC and the Big 12. I saw this from a guy who posted a video who has 2,300 followers, is verified. Again, not saying it is true,
You
but
can pay for verification.
you can. But imagine that, though.
I don't like it.
I feel like that would be stupid.
I don't like it.
But if that were to happen and you get this super league, as I have it in here, it's like, how do you even control all those teams?
You don't.
You can't.
I feel like it's nearly impossible.
I mean, you have to think that, like, the ACC just expanded, and they're traveling to, for example, Stanford.
Yep.
Which is, as everyone knows, on the complete other side of the country.
Correct.
So it's like, how are like I don't think it was true. It would be crazy if something like that did happen. I definitely don't think it would happen anytime soon, though. This
I feel like that would take more than a little more than off-season talk for that to actually happen.
And I'm sure you had to vote on it. And
So
all this.
that's the only thing I had out of college. NFL, kind of some crazy stuff to report here. Jets officially, as of February 13th, have moved on from Aaron Rodgers. I feel like that was kind of a given, but you know, there's rumors of him coming here potentially.
No, absolutely
Please,
not.
For the love of God, don't do that. But everyone's kind of saying, you know, wherever he goes, Adams goes too. Which at the same time, I wouldn't mind having Devontae Adams. But at the same time, it's not obviously the Devontae Adams of 5 years ago. So it's like
also
pick
not
and
the
choose your
prime
battles.
MVP Aaron Rodgers either.
Yeah, but our wide receiver core is also not the best. We would have to, in my opinion, you either sign well, you can't really. Who is even out there on the market anymore that's not signed? Is Cooper Kupp signed yet? Probably not. I don't think so.
They want to trade him.
They want to trade him. He's not a free agent.
Oh, okay. So that's right. So I'm just saying, like, in the long run of things.
Isn't
Higgins.
I think Godwin's a free
Godwin's
agent.
a free agent. T. Higgins.
Yeah, we've been saying
Those are the
stuff
two
about
big
T.
ones.
Higgins, but anyway, we'll see where he goes. Dolphins released Raheem Mostert.
See you
Obviously,
later.
A-Chain's their guy down there.
Mostert's kind of been like their goal line back. I was kind of surprised to see that.
Yeah, but they drafted, who is it, Wright, out of Tennessee?
Is it Jalen Wright?
Yeah, I feel like that's
Sounds
the right
about
name.
right.
Yeah. I mean, you got 2 young running backs on 2 rookie deals. Why do you need him?
Veteran presence in the locker room.
Right.
Well, they have 2.
I don't know if Mostert would start in most places. I mean, I'm sure he could, or be like that 1 and 2 punch like him and A-Chain were, but I don't feel like he would do anything really. So,
speaking of the Dolphins, Tyreek had wrist surgery today.
did he?
Did see that?
Yeah, he also rescinded the Mal comments.
Yeah.
When he was,
He said, "Baby, I'm back."
When he was writing his apology letter to Tua, he caught something in his wrist.
He had a carpal tunnel syndrome.
Oh, right. Chargers are expected to release Joey Bosa.
That's because they could save a massive cap.
Yeah, but he's also, what, 30?
He's got to be pushing 30 now.
So, I mean, not old.
No, but according to Madden, your trade value declines once you hit 30, so it makes sense.
I mean, I feel like wherever Joey Bosa goes, obviously he's a huge addition to any team.
He's been kind of quiet, I feel like, the last couple of years.
You know where he's going to go? He's going to go to San Francisco and play with his brother.
That'd be kind of tough.
Yeah, you imagine on both sides, you got the Bosas on both sides, you're screwed.
Good luck.
On both of those sides?
Yes.
I get it. Bosa sides.
Speaking
of Bosa, Pizza Bosa slaps. If you don't know,
I don't think I've ever had it.
You should.
It's okay. It's not my favorite.
So, Tush Push being banned. One team reporting in, Packers, and we don't want to do this anymore. We don't want to face this anymore. I'm sorry, bud, but if you gotta face the Tush Push, why can't you do the Tush Push right back?
So I saw that Andy Reid commented on that today. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. He said that he doesn't think it should be banned. Personally, he would like the Chiefs to do it, but they just can't.
I don't understand why no one does it besides
Correct.
the Eagles.
The Ravens did it with Mark Andrews under center.
You know what? I didn't mean like
no,
nobody else.
But what I'm saying is, like, you think of like the Tush Push, or the what do they call it? The Philly
brotherly shove.
Brotherly shove. That's what it is. Like you don't see other teams do that like at all. But like I said, they put Ravens put Mark Andrews under center and did that. Why can't we do that with Darnell
Anybody
Washington?
in the NFL on offense, 3rd inches, 4th inches, whatever you want to do, can do that play.
Correct.
There is no such thing as illegal formation on defense. So stack the middle with your biggest lineman, push his ass where they're pushing the ball, and like try to stop it that way.
Or you could just do what the Commanders did.
What's that?
And they jumped off sides about 4 straight plays.
Yeah, but see, that's probably not ideal. That gives you the first down, and
Or you could just keep declining it, kind of like the Eagles did in the playoff game.
I don't know. I just don't feel like that should be banned. I feel like you can either do the same thing or learn how to stop it. And guess what? If you can't stop it, well, guess what? It's a first down. Move on.
I don't necessarily know what the whole reasoning behind it was. I would imagine that a little bit has to do with player safety.
Well, the NFL's so soft anymore.
Just because if you think about it, right? Let's say, for example, you're me, 270 pounds. I'm a quarterback, right? I have tight ends behind me pushing me into 340-pound offensive linemen, and on the other side, there's 340-pound nose tackle there pushing. I mean, you're asking for like a serious injury to happen at some point.
You're asking for it, but you also know what you're facing, so you choose to do it.
Correct. It works.
It does, but that's mainly is what I'm saying is it can work for other teams too. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do there. I don't see why it should be banned, but you do you, NFL. The NFL came out with rankings of all 59 quarterbacks who played a down. And top 5, of course, Lamar, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, and Daniels. They ranked them 1 through 5. Notable bottom 5, obviously the bigger names that aren't backups or, whoever. Caleb Williams, 28th. Winston, 32nd. Levis, 33rd. AR, 35. Daniel Jones, 37. And for what it's worth, Russell Wilson 23rd, Justin Fields 27th. Only quarterbacks between them: Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, T-Law. Yeah, and that was it. Those are the only three between them. So I don't know. I'm so sick of not seeing like our players just up towards the top of things. I mean, for what it's worth, you can only do so much, right? You ask your players to do their best, they do their best. What can you do? But
you also don't have generational talent at quarterback right now that is capable of producing like a top 5 quarterback.
We technically still have Justin Fields.
We do,
but we don't know.
But he's not better than any of those guys you just listed. I wouldn't even put Justin Fields probably in the. If Justin Fields is playing at like his top potential, personally, I don't think I put him in the top 12.
I mean, he also has to prove himself still. I mean, Chicago was rough. He didn't really do anything in Chicago. They didn't really let him do anything in Chicago because they were so bad. But he had his prime opportunity here. We let Russ have his spot essentially because, I mean, that just had to happen. But 27th and 23rd.
Do I think Fields is better than Derek Carr? Absolutely.
I think so.
Kirk Cousins, depends on what time Kirk Cousins is playing football.
Right. But yeah, those were, I mean, the notable bottom 5. Caleb Williams, I mean, rookie year, what can you do? But I mean,
Jane Daniels,
the elite quarterbacks in today's NFL who had a really good first year. Not really any of them.
He also doesn't have a line.
Yeah.
Right.
He's got about 3 receivers and Cole Kmet, and that's about it.
So, kind of sad news to report here, guys. This one hurt. The NFL Red Zone host, Scott Hansen, is in talks to leave the show.
Yeah, it's because they took away commercial free.
Been there since 2009.
There's commercials in Red Zone now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. There's like little ads. Commercial-free football, but they have it like pushed off to the side, and then an ad will
It's like when the WWE does the split screen.
Yeah, exactly. But he's been there since it started in 2009. He's seeking a higher role with NBC. But, I mean...
Chase the bag.
But who's going to tell us the witching hour and when losses become wins and wins become losses? Like, who's going to tell me that?
Somebody.
Steve Harvey. He's the host everywhere else.
I need 2. I need 2.
But we'll see what happens with that. And, of course, as you mentioned earlier, the Combine does start on the 27th. And that is 2 days from now. So see how that goes. It runs until March 2nd. And, I mean, we'll see how we do, I guess.
I did see today that I think Quinn Ewers is throwing, and I forget exactly who it was, but I saw someone's not participating in something.
Shador Sand.
Yeah,
yes.
He isn't.
He's not working out. Neither is Genty.
No, I did see that too. Shador's thrown at Colorado, though. He's just not going
for the pro days.
A lot of people aren't working out with the Combine anymore.
I feel like the Combine is cool, right? I feel like it gives you a sense of, like...
Prove yourself.
Correct. But at the same time, I feel like it doesn't. Because... who was the quarterback? Was it Will Levis? Somebody in the last probably 5 years of the Combine threw the ball way downfield. It wasn't Will Levis. Forget who it was. And he like rolled out of the pocket, threw a crossbar to like 65 yards down the field. And the dude's like an absolute nobody now. Forget
sure
who
it wasn't Willis. Malik Willis.
Sounds like him. Could have like the cannon arm or Hendon Hooker.
I forget.
No, Hooker didn't participate because he had a torn ACL.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Never forget that one. Yeah, that was thanks to you.
Yeah,
I forget who it was. For some reason, I feel like it was a white quarterback like 5 years ago.
It beats me.
I forget who. Went to a smaller school. Oh, Zach Wilson. It was Zach Wilson.
Oh, well, I mean,
that makes sense.
Did he go to San Diego State or North Dakota
he went to
State?
BYU.
That's what it was. Pretty sure it was him though that did that. But like, what does that prove? You can throw a football. It's your job.
Well, I mean, definitely gets the eyes on you a little bit more than the next guy. But we see where Zach Wilson is now, to your credit and point. So
I feel like the Combine isn't good for like quarterbacks. I feel like it's better for like linemen, defensive ends.
We love watching the big boys do the 40.
Yeah,
love watching that. Get the tugboats out there and haul ass for as long as you can, and try to stop at the very end.
It was a few years ago where they were doing the the wide receivers were doing where they start on one side, then they jump
Mhm.
to the other side, and the dude looked the wrong
Wrong
way
way.
and got
Yeah.
blasted
Right in the dome. Yep.
right in the head, just boom.
I remember that.
Who was the lineman a couple of years ago that was running the 40 and his pants fell down?
I know who that is, but I don't remember his name, but I remember exactly.
I remember
that
seeing
story.
that.
Like there's stuff like that.
Yeah, that was a.
I feel like there's good workouts and there's not good workouts. The like vertical, great drill, right?
Fun to watch.
Fun to watch. 40, great. You can see how fast someone runs.
Yeah.
Bench press, I don't really know if that's like. Does what in your eyes what is benching 300 pounds like to you mean? If you're a scout for a team,
Well,
you see someone put up 300 pounds for 5 reps. Like, what does that mean to you? The dude's
think
strong.
that shows me that you can block someone. You have the strength to block a bull essentially. That's trying to get to your quarterback.
Yeah, but
that's for
you're-
linemen. If you're a wide receiver, I don't really know
I don't
what that
think I don't
proves.
think they do that.
They don't. it's
Okay, I was
just
gonna say that
linemen.
doesn't make sense. So.
I would say a squat would be. It would almost be like a squat would be better because you can see the explosiveness coming
Yeah.
out of a.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah.
I feel like the reps for like bench. I mean, obviously there's someone there counting if those reps count. But
Mhm.
like Zach mentioned, I believe I personally think that squat would be more beneficial than
Yeah.
necessarily bench press.
But yeah, we'll see what goes on with the combine for sure. Always fun to watch. So keep your eyes peeled. Steeler news. Speaking of Justin Fields, saw he was interested in signing with the Jets, according to an ESPN insider.
I saw today though that the Rams are like behind us, second to land him. So I think that people are just throwing smoke everywhere.
The whole thing sucks. I don't want Russ again, and Fields leaving breaks my heart. So like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna sign another vet quarterback that's gonna be average at best. If it is Aaron Rodgers, just
I'm not watching.
it's gonna be tough.
Speaking of veteran quarterbacks, I saw this trade like proposal. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. I just want to know a simple yes or no. Would you do this? It is Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp package deal, right? We send them like our first this year, our second this year, and like I think it was like a third or fourth next year.
No.
You wouldn't do that.
Nope.
Why?
Because Stafford's getting old. What's the purpose of that?
I think that's a lot. Yeah, good.
And if you take out the second round pick is where everybody has us taking either Dart or, which I don't think he's lasting that long, or a high-end wide receiver. Why would you sacrifice that in two areas that you very badly need for a bridge guy again? We just did the bridge shit.
That's fair.
I was gonna say I feel like that's a lot to give up for a wide receiver you could use for a while. Great, but Matthew Stafford's at the end of his career too. So you give up all these picks for a potential where you could use those picks to draft your quarterback. But at the same time, like depends on how they draft this year, of course. But this is what I'm saying is like you give up all that opportunity for essentials you may need in the future for a quarterback who's gonna be okay, but is only gonna give you a year or two.
He's also not mobile. Like he's
Yeah,
not
definitely
mobile.
not. Yeah, that is
He's
true.
like the Rams have a great offensive line.
And he's hurt all the time.
Yes.
So like I'll take Cooper Kupp, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but
he would be great.
I wouldn't package those two for all that. I feel like that's way too much.
Now, would you trade this year's second plus maybe a pick for Cooper Kupp?
Yeah, but if we do that, then I would take a quarterback in the first round. Like,
It also depends on like what we do in free agency too.
Mhm. Yeah,
I
we're
definitely
still,
think. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we're still early-ish into the off season. Yeah, teams are making their moves already, and the Steelers have yet to do. We'll talk about some things they have done, but nothing crazy yet to fill the essentials in. But
Right.
Still early.
yeah, were you gonna say something?
No, you can.
Okay.
You got it.
Steelers are expected to part ways with guard James Daniels and tackle Dan Moore Jr. per Jerry Dulac. Yeah. So
See ya.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see you later.
Dan Moore's been unfortunately long overdue to not be in a Steelers uniform anymore. Plus, I mean, Fontenot comes back. You still have that guy Broderick Jones.
Yeah, they declared today that he was going to play left tackle this year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
which is what he was drafted to do.
Right. So he just got to get it right. He hasn't had the best. He definitely showed improvement in the second half of the season this year. Leading up to then, like rough.
Yeah. Well, he was also bouncing between. He was also moving to right tackle.
Yeah, they kept bouncing him. in different spots.
Which, to be fair, is the same position as left tackle, right?
Mhm.
But it is the complete opposite.
Yeah.
So if you've played left tackle all throughout high school, all throughout college, and you're good at your position, and then all of a sudden you're just like, team's like, hey, we need a right tackle, like we're moving you to right tackle.
Yeah.
Then it's the sense of not necessarily learning because you already know how to do it. It's just perfecting what you're already good at, just as in the complete opposite. It's hard.
And I would much rather him play a spot where he's used to. You can't draft him, expect him to just get right in there and play a spot he's never played before.
Especially the first round.
Right. So he's, like I said, he improved second half of the season. So now that he's at his prime spot, there's like no more excuses. We got to produce now. We did sign a tight end, Donald Parham Jr., to a 1-year deal. Don't know really what that does for us because what are we going to do with Patty French fries in Mount Washington? Like, I don't really know.
I think I saw that we have like 8 tight ends on the
We do.
roster.
Yeah, it's great.
We still have Connor Hayward. He's slotted as a tight end too.
He
Yeah.
should be our fullback.
I mean,
Not a lot of teams use a fullback anymore. But, I mean, if we're on the 1-yard line, I put Connor. I put him back there.
yeah.
But
we have 8 tight ends and about like 4 receivers.
Yeah, this whatever.
I don't necessarily know if this guy if he'll make the team, maybe the practice squad. I don't know what his numbers look like. I know he used to play for the Chargers because I'm
Right.
pretty sure
That's where he was last year.
pretty sure he's the dude that got knocked out a couple years ago in a primetime game that he like caught a ball, hit the ground, and went like complete out cold. I'm almost positive that's him. I don't know what his numbers were like, but like you mentioned, like at best he's going to be like your tight end 3,
Yeah.
if that the stars align.
Fryermuth obviously starts.
Yeah, no, without a doubt.
Mount Washington is your like blocker tight end for a run wherever, but I just don't understand why if you're not on the 1-yard line, throw the ball up to this.
They did it.
Tree.
They did it in Denver, and he scored.
I don't know. Steelers have a formal meeting set up with Ashton Genty. We did mention him before. I don't want him. I don't know.
He's not going to last until our draft position.
No.
Dallas needs a running back. Everybody on the face of the earth
Mhm.
knows that Dallas needs a running back. If they pass on him, 1, they're stupid, and 2, I still don't think he's going to last to us. Because even if you do get there, like Denver drafts before us, they need a running back because they're not bringing back Williams. Like, there's a lot of teams that could use a running back that his skill set fits. We're not one of them. We're just not.
I really don't have an issue with Jalen Warren taking over this backfield. It seems like we're moving on from Najee. From what I'm getting and what everyone's reporting and whatever, Najee will not be a Steeler next year. If he is, sweet. I never disliked Najee, but at the same time, if we're moving on, Jalen Warren in the backfield does as much for me as Najee did.
I also feel like that Jalen Warren's numbers are good in the sense of he was a like 1A, 1B back. I'd be very surprised to see how he performs if he is our number 1 back. Because he wasn't in there every single play, obviously. No. Like, not Najee. I mean, granted, they went 53-47 snap shares, this and that, depending on the scheme that we were running or the game plan. But seeing him if he is our lead back, seeing him take that next step, I'd be very surprised to see how he performs.
Man just runs hard.
He does.
Gets the ball, runs. Doesn't gallop around like Najee, and like it's just Najee is the bigger dude. He's more like, I don't want to say more tough because that's not the word I'm looking for here. Is maybe more agile, more better on his feet. But at the same time, you give Jalen Warren the ball. If there's a hole there, he's going to blast through that hole and not give a shit who's in front of him.
Right.
That's why I went out of running back, but that's just me. There are some rumblings of Cortland Sutton could be traded here.
Traded to Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
I think they talked about that last
They're a year late.
Just like JT Miller coming to the Pens. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Right.
And Brandon Ayuk coming to the Steelers.
Oh,
Yeah. We were actually getting Devontae last year at the 2, and
Yeah, well, so, I mean, that's just rumblings, and we'll end on a nice, well, not end, but little nice bit of news here. A Steeler absolute legend, Duck Hodges, right? Proposed, is now engaged to Lainey Wilson. Congrats, Duck.
Sweet.
Good for you, bud.
He when Dill was there. I don't know if you were there for Luke Combs. Oh yeah, you were.
Oh, I don't remember
Yeah,
anything. at that concert.
that's why I said
I had a
Dill.
great time, but
That's
I don't remember
why I
that.
said Dill. She was the opener for Luke Combs when he was at Heinz Field a couple years back, and that's when they had just started dating.
Yep.
And her and her whole band all wore Duck Hodge jerseys.
It was pretty funny.
It was probably like, I don't know, like 4 minutes into them dating. I was like, I had pit seats or I guess pit area standing, whatever you want to call it. And I'm like looking, I'm like, those are Duck Hodges jerseys. I'm like, I was like, what a random Steeler jersey to wear. And then I Googled it and I was like, oh, they're dating. Makes sense.
Yep. So, yeah, congrats to you guys. And best news you're going to hear all day, Trevor Lawrence is our quarterback. Congrats, Steelers. You did it. We did it, guys. T-Law's our quarterback. What an idiot. I hate Philadelphia. I'm just going to put it out there.
Oh, was he? I forgot he was the one.
But he tweeted on a part of whoever his name was. He's a college football, like, particular conference. That's all he does. Like, he covers golf and stuff and just throws out on Twitter one day, hey, Steelers calling in about Trevor Lawrence. They're in serious conversation. Per a Jaguars resource. I'm
Probably
like,
an intern.
what? So, obviously, it took off on Twitter, and Filipponi always has to be the first one to tweet about it for Pittsburgh sports. Oh, I know this guy, great guy, wouldn't tweet about anything stupid. Like, this is real. Well, not an hour later, Kabali puts out, that never happened. This is all BS, and we can confirm from the Jaguars that it just was never a thing. And T-Law even came on and was like, yeah, I'm never leaving Jacksonville. I love it here. I have a no-trade clause. I feel like someone would have called me and told me about that before. But, yeah, that just never happened. So, congrats.
How do you really feel?
I mean, listen, I love T-Law, but at the same time,
We know.
Big
Oh,
PC
big T-Law guy.
Big PC.
never mind. But that's all the football news.
Shout out whatnot.
That's what I was going to say. That's all the football news I have, but like we were saying before, there's no games or anything to report on, so we're going to transition to some college basketball action.
We're watching Pitt right now. Speaking of college basketball, they are down 4.
Okay. I was going to say they don't have the score up there, but we're transitioning into college basketball because who doesn't love March Madness?
Everybody loves March Madness.
Love March Madness.
It's coming.
I'm just going to do a small little intro here. We'll get into it more as the pods come along, but we'll cover the top 5 men's and women's team right now. Top 5 for the men's: Auburn, Duke, Florida, Houston, Tennessee. Big powerhouses there. Houston is like the best defensive team in the nation for like the last 5 years.
Yeah, they have been.
And
what conference are they in? They're not a good conference because they always come to the tournament either undefeated or like 1 loss.
Yeah, they're always like a middle-ish seed, like middle.
No,
10.
they're always a high seed.
That's what I meant, middle 10, like
Middle 10.
like 5, 6.
I'm talking to the tournament. In the tournament, they're always a high seed. They're always like a 1 or 2 in the tournament.
Oh, yeah.
But what I'm saying is I don't know what conference they're in, but they always come into the tournament like 34-1 or something like that.
Yeah.
They're in the Big 12.
Oh, did they just move to the Big 12?
Like 2 years ago.
I was going to say.
I mean, they're not the greatest. Second place is Arizona. They're 12-4.
Interesting.
Houston 16-1. So.
Well.
There you go. Top 5 for the women's: Texas, UCLA, Notre Dame, USC, UConn. South Carolina's not in there, but they are 6th. Going through a little rough patch, South Carolina.
Yeah, most of their seniors graduated. Half of them are in the NBA or the WNBA right now. This is like a transition year for them.
Yep.
So for them to be in a transition year and you're still 6th.
It's a coaching down there.
Dawn Staley is she's by far one of my favorite coaches.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Has to be.
I do think UCLA has a very good chance to win, though.
Yeah, for sure. Also, UConn, always a powerhouse. Paige Beckers, right?
Yeah, she's sick.
Yeah, real good at basketball.
She's senior.
Yeah, she'll be in the WNBA next year.
Yeah, I've been trying to buy one of her cards for a while. They are not cheap.
I got them. I got one last year.
An auto?
No,
okay,
I
that's
wish.
What I'm going for. But yeah, I mean, any of those cards would be nice to have. But those are your top 5 for men's and women's. And statistically, when it comes to points, we got Eric Dixon from Villanova averaging 22.9, and Tanaya Latson from Florida State, 26.2.
Yeah, she's crushing.
That's a lot of points.
She is crushing it. The team's not, but
yeah, I was just gonna say Florida State But, yeah, she's killing it for sure. Rebounds. For the men's, Oscar Clough from San Diego State averaging 12.5.
Also a great team at the tournament.
San Diego State.
Yeah.
Always a good pick for the little run.
Yeah.
Always love that. And Anissa Moro, I think I pronounced that right, but I could be wrong. But LSU, 14.3 boards. Definitely dominating the glass.
She's just taken probably the Reesing to a whole new level.
I don't know if she's Reesing as much as Angel Reese down there, but, I mean, 14.3 is a lot of boards.
There's a lot of boards.
So, assists from Gonzaga, we got Ryan Nembhard, I don't know, 9.7 assists, and Katie Steinbeer, help me out here, fellas. I don't really know how to pronounce.
Can't ask him. He's not the pronouncer.
Yeah, I'm
here.
not a big pronunciation guy.
Notice how he's just sitting there letting you pronounce them all.
Dennebeyer.
Close enough.
I don't know, but she's from Drake. 9.7 for the men's and 7.4 for her. As you know, RBA is always the go-to.
RBA.
Always
That's RBA.
RBA.
If you don't know, you know.
Oh, yeah. Blocks, obviously, we got the taller men's and women's people down there to get up and block that ball. We got Malcolm Wilson from Queen's University standing 7 foot.
Where's that? That's got to be in New York, right?
I would think so. The only Queens I know is the Queen of England and the Queens of New York. So
is that Division I?
I mean, it's
I've
for
never
all
heard
conferences.
I've never heard of Queen's University.
I don't know, but he's dominating the block game.
Yeah, I would too if I'm 7 foot.
3.4 blocks a game. And for the women's,
Pronounce this one.
from Middle Tennessee, this has to be Anastasia or just plain old Anastasia, but it looks like Anastasia.
Corey said Anastasia.
No, I don't like that stuff.
Go ahead.
We're going to go
Hit that last move.
Boldy River.
Bold River.
Is the Y silent?
It has to be.
I don't think it would be Boldy Riva. I don't think that would make sense. Or if it is, good for you. I'm going Anastasia Bold Riva. I feel like that's.
I feel like you crushed that. I feel like that's
sounds
you
good
did
off the tongue.
It does.
Yeah.
Middle Tennessee, she gets 3.5 blocks a game,
Yeah, well,
standing at 6'6".
I was gonna say she's real big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No foul. Just absolute rock that. So,
All ball.
lastly, steals. Hayden Gray from UC San Diego, 3.5 steals. And shout out Duquesne University for this one.
Megan McConnell.
4 steals a game. I don't know if you ever watched Duquesne women's basketball.
I do.
Tune in. She is an animal.
She had Bree had class with her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I mean,
She local?
Yeah,
Yeah.
her brother is TJ.
yeah. You know,
Oh, no
you know
shit.
the McConnell name for basketball.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
I
went
mean,
to
that-
Char Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, her mom played at Seton LaSalle with my mom.
Susie.
Oh, yeah, no shit.
Susie.
Yeah, she was real good. She also Susie coached in the WNBA too.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's TJ's sister.
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Hey, roll Dukes.
Yeah, the rest of the team.
Yeah. I mean, not sure what their record is, but
Not good.
yeah. Hey,
She's
Megan, you're doing your thing.
She's real good.
Yeah. fun
What
to
year is
watch.
she? Does anyone know?
She's probably a grad student.
Huh.
She's either a senior or a grad student. I don't think she's younger, because Bree had class with her. She has to be somewhere.
Duquesne's sake, I hope she's a
What is she,
sophomore.
Dill?
I was gonna say.
She's a senior.
Nah, shit. I mean, like I said, we'll get into more better topics here down the road. We're just an easy transition to college basketball for now. We are going to talk about Pitt College hoops.
I guess. They lost tonight.
Yeah, that's good. So
73-67.
So before tonight's game, they were 16-11. So now it's 16-12, 7-9 in the conference, and 8th in the ACC.
Yeah. Well, now they're 7-10 in the conference.
Right.
Which is not a good look.
No. Team leaders. I mean, Jalen Lowe, pretty much their squad right now.
He had 25 tonight.
Leading in points, averaging 16.4, averaging 5.2 assists and steals at 1.8 per game. That leads the team. And Ishmael Leggett shooting a team best 46.6%, as well as a team best 5.8 rebounds a game. So those two are your best players.
You know who's a dog? Zach Austin. We
Yeah.
were at that game against UNC. The dude played 39 minutes and went out of the game twice. I'm pretty sure due to cramps.
He actually tore his ACL and then came back after
you
he
know,
got
you know how long
massage
a college
gun.
basketball game is? 40 minutes.
Mhm.
Dude played 39 and subbed out twice because he cramped.
Wow.
Dude's a beast.
Just had to get that out and go back in.
He has to lead the league, or not the league. He has to lead the team in blocks per game, 100%.
Yeah, it was definitely there, but I didn't write it down because Jalen Lowe and Ishmael Leggett are leading the team for everything except for the blocks.
They are the team.
But we averaged 77.1 points per game, which is the 100th in all of basketball.
We're not last.
No, definitely not last. But do you consider that top 100? Because if you are 100, got to look at the bright side here. 33.5 boards. That's tied for 328th. That's not a great number there.
You're top 328, though.
Out of how many teams in D1? I don't know. 13.5 assists, tied for 228th. Also sick. We also allow 71.2 points per game, while we average 77.1. So, we average a win.
Hey,
our record definitely says
that we don't.
Not that, right. But we have 3 games left, so we played Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
So who we played? So we have at Louisville, at North Carolina State, and we're home against Boston College. Those are our last 3 games. No chances of March Madness. Absolutely
If you win the tournament, that's your ticket in.
Absolutely no shot.
We're not beating Duke, though, 100%.
We're not.
Cooper Flag is... that's the other.
No, we are not.
But that's how we would get in.
Right. So
we'll decline the NIT as per usual.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're too good for it. Actually, we're just scared that we're going to lose in the first round. That's why they decline it.
Probably. We've had 27 total appearances in March Madness. Haven't made the Final Four since 1941. Last Elite 8 was 2009, and it was 1974 before that.
When you get into the NCAA tournament, right? Every single year, you saw what were 328th tied for 328th in rebounds.
Tied.
When you get to the tournament, when you get to the big dance, and if the other team we're playing has a big man, we're toast because they're just going to dominate the paint and just get rebounds. Happens every single year.
You got to hold both.
You got to box out.
Got to box them out.
Have to.
Yeah. So I don't know really what their issue is. If it does it have to, I don't think coaching is an issue. No, the name's escaping my mind. Cable, thank you. I don't think anything's wrong with him. I love him as a coach, but when you recruit players, we had a name going for ourselves here for a little bit when we were playing good and had a decent record every year. Proved ourselves. But is it the recruiting? All these top guys, top players, obviously are going to go to your better teams. But these middle players that have the chance to come to a Pitt or these middle tier teams, it just seems like no one ever wants to come to Pitt.
I don't know much about recruiting for college basketball, but I feel like if I was a 3-star recruit from, let's say, North Carolina,
sure,
right? Am I going to UNC? Probably not.
No.
Can I go to NC State? Potentially.
Right.
There's UNC Greensboro. There's multiple teams. I feel like if you're that, what you're saying as that middle class recruit, I feel like personally I would be more entitled to stay locally.
Yeah, it's not a bad thought. For sure, if you are a 3-star, like you said, locally would probably benefit you more for travel, obviously. But I feel like if you are not quite there, but you have a name to make for yourself with today's transfer portal, you can go to a Pitt team, you can go to an NC State team, prove yourself there for a year or two, transfer because you make a name for yourself, go up to these higher end teams, prove yourself if you make it to the NBA. But you know what I mean? It's we don't ever have that person coming here with that star recruit that is, has these numbers, is going to do this for this team. We just don't ever see that.
We did. He just left after 1 year.
Yeah. Okay.
And he got drafted, 6th or 7th by the Wizards?
Yeah.
Bub Carrington?
Yeah. So, okay, one example.
Yeah.
But, you can't name me 10 players. You can't name me 5 players.
Sam Young got drafted.
Cam Johnson did get drafted.
Right, but I'm talking
he also transferred to North Carolina, didn't he?
I don't know where. No, Arizona.
They also made the tournament with Cam and all those guys.
Yeah.
I'm talking about last year, 2 years ago, today's in the future. It's it is what it is, I guess.
I guess.
You just gotta.
Like I said,
Either
I
get
don't-
better recruiting, or if it is the coach, which, I mean, like I've said, Capel has proven himself to be a pretty decent coach. Like, for what it's worth, for what you have as a team.
His son looks exactly like him.
Yeah, he does. But I don't know. We'll see how they go with going forward. We obviously hope for the best, but I don't know. We'll have to see.
A lot to come in college hoops here. Obviously, before we get to the big dance, we have the little dance, the homecoming snowball, which would be your conference titles.
Right.
So, obviously, that changes a lot, right? Seeding changes a lot. Everyone who wins automatically makes it.
Everything essentially starts right there.
Correct. Anybody can go on a run.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just a matter of.
Wichita State. Never forget that. The boys just draining
You mean
threes.
Loyola Chicago?
That's
Wasn't
what I
that
meant.
Sister Jean?
I know Wichita State was a 3-point shooting team, but Loyola, they're
Isn't that Sister Jean?
Yeah,
She's still kicking, isn't she?
Yeah, she's still alive.
I think so.
Yeah.
She's
I
like
hope
100.
so.
She's like 104.
Yeah. She said, "I'm living till we win, baby."
Yeah.
We'll move on from the hardwood
Yeah.
to something also hard that freezes when it's cold.
Oh, okay.
Ice. Four Nations Faceoff concluded. We are back into the quote-unquote
Yeah,
second
really,
half of the
really wish
season.
we weren't.
I miss the Penguins so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can actually see them at PPG Arena down behind section. I think it's like 106 or something like that. They have two African
real
penguins there.
penguins. Oh,
Real
yeah.
penguins. Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can go see them.
I have more fun watching that than the boys right now. Not gonna lie. They're playing shit hockey, but we'll let him talk about that.
Well,
Maybe.
I don't know if I'll talk about that. But so yeah, we'll do the Four Nations. The whole tournament happened in the 2 weeks that we were in between.
Oh,
but the first two games, I think the opening two games were like Canada came out zipping in their first game, and then it all fell to shit. But
Yeah.
Mitch Marner, I think he gets a lot of hate up in Canada. He's a very, very good player.
He is.
He is a very, very skilled player. I think this was a big tournament for him to be like, I'm kind of here.
That first game definitely showed that.
Yeah, Team USA. They started off a little bit slow, and then they came out for the third period and quit playing games, and they just put that team right in the dirt. That's
Done playing around.
yeah. Mike Sullivan just gave one of those speeches where you're just like, oh yeah.
He
They
went out-
they came out and they were like, whatever happens, and they just beat the the piss out of that.
He went to that locker room in the second period. He's like, "Are you guys kidding me right now?
Yeah, he's like, what are we doing?
Play hockey."
Yeah.
Between him and Tortorella, they're like, well, you want to skate? You just want to skate?
You want to die, clown?
Yeah. They're like, you want to back skate? We'll just back skate tomorrow. And then, but I think the big game that everyone was looking forward to was Canada and the USA. That was on Saturday. Started out with the booing of the national anthem.
Yeah.
I know your stance on it, but if you would like to share, you can.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, my stance is just show some goddamn respect. That's what I know the other side of the story. My thing is, I don't care who it is. You don't boo an anthem. That immediately would charge me up, which the boys definitely got charged up. It only took them 10 seconds to show their emotion about how, you boo the anthem, this is what you're going to get.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the other side of the story, if you pay attention to it, good for you. I certainly don't care about politics, so I don't ever talk about it, but that's exactly why they were booing it, though. We weren't booing the anthem because it's the United States. It's because what's going on in our countries and all this and all that. Like, okay, don't boo the anthem.
I do understand that, and at the same time, to play devil's advocate, because I do pay attention to the other stuff, is if somebody's making my life harder that doesn't necessarily have to do that, I'm gonna be a little bit pissed off.
Yeah,
And it's like
yeah.
at a what I normally call it is like the peasant stage, because that's really what I feel like I am in the world. But like at that stage, like what really could you do to like get your frustration out? And I feel like that's where a lot of
That's what you
people
do.
channeled it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Kachucks came out and set the tone real early, right off the drop.
The mic'd up in the
Oh, my-
in the
when-
penalty box
Great.
was great.
when they were dapping each other up.
Yeah. That was great.
You know,
First year
do you know
content.
how many people sent me that and they were like, "Look, it's you and your brother." And I'm like, "Yeah, thanks, great."
You know who came to mind with me? It was Dylan Bailey.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
aggressive
Big
one and
fuckers.
aggressive two.
Yep, Bash Brothers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You ever see Dylan play pissed off hockey?
Yes. So
I'm more scared of him when he's pissed off than Ty.
So McDavid absolutely smoked McAvoy, who was he was flat-footed. He even skated backwards. It's almost like he toe picked himself after McDavid scored into the crossbar.
Yeah, we said that too. Like McAvoy was already at the defensive blue line when. First of all, you can't give McDavid the puck at his blue line, knowing damn well what he's going to do, and give him that much room just to get to our last person who's already flat-footed. Can't do that.
Yeah,
Absolutely
he looked like a pylon. It almost like it just caught him off guard of how quick he was coming.
Yeah. The man flies on ice. It's crazy.
Right, and then not even 2 minutes later, their next shift, he absolutely destroys him along the boards. Yeah. He just kills him.
Here's a little bit of sweet revenge, and how did the boards taste?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen McDavid get blasted that hard.
He flew in a different way.
Yeah.
He got airtime.
He actually looked like the kid from Penn State when Vinny hit him in line, just perpendicular to the... and then I would say not even a few minutes after that, the puck gets dumped into our zone, and Brady Tkachuk absolutely crushes Drew Doughty.
I watch that video still 3 to 4 times a day. The sound it makes, plus just...
The camera angle is great.
Oh, it's amazing.
They have it from the side. You can literally watch. He just it looks like an ant or a bird hitting a window. It's just boom.
The Windex commercial.
Yeah.
It's just the sound of it all is just fantastic. And
yeah.
You don't see that in the regular season games anymore.
No, I'll be the first person to say Zach was talking to me about maybe wanting to go, and I was like, why would you go? It's going to be a glorified All-Star game. It was not. It was I think that, and we talked about it with Yoey, but the NHL definitely figured out something with this. I don't know. I don't think you could do this every year. I think then you're going to lose it. But yeah. I think doing it the year right before the Olympics, I think that's a very good idea. For Team USA, Dill's boy Jake Gensel scored and Dylan Larkin scored, which Dylan Larkin plays on the fourth line on Team USA, and it's not like he's that that's a captain of an NHL team. Canada's bottom six looked like they just couldn't really keep up with us, and our in-zone defense had Torts' name written all over it. It was if anybody has ever watched Torts-style hockey, that is Team USA's defense. Yep. But the game did peak at 5.2 million people, or households, or however they view that. But it was the most viewed non-Stanley Cup game since 2019. So,
was this what was the game that George Laraque came out to present the player of the game?
That was when they were home. That was USA versus. It was either Sweden or Finland, but that's when they were home, and he came out because a representative of the country comes out there to give the player of the game.
He's Canadian.
Yeah, he's Canadian, not
good.
American.
So we'll move on from that.
I'm like, Corey?
I don't think it was that
That's
one.
why I cover the NFL, boys.
I don't know what.
He was so damn confident too. That's the best part.
Can we make sure? Can we look that up real quick?
But we will. We're gonna move into Canada and Finland. This was the game that McKinnon really started to find his footing, which is a little bit scary when you start seeing him pick up his feet. I think Canada really found their chemistry during this game. Finland made a hell of a push at the end. Granlund,
that was sick.
They had, 3 goals in 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Well, they pulled the goalie with 3 or so minutes left.
Yeah.
3.5.
Granlund scored, then he scored again.
It was a 1-goal game there for a hot second.
Yeah, and then we went over this with Yoey too, but Sid told him to go right back to Helsinki.
Here's what I think about you and your comeback right now.
Sid was not, and he does not throw hits very often, and to watch him just he crushes. I think it's Granlund.
Yeah,
he crushes Granlund, gets the puck and puts it in empty netter, and you can see it on his face. He's like, "We're good."
Yeah, take that.
I got this, boys.
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, we're good, guys."
See this letter on the front? That's me.
Team USA played Sweden in a game that really didn't matter for us. So a lot of Ottinger was in net, and we didn't play that bad. It was just the top guys weren't in, so it was what it was. I think Otter played pretty decently for what was asked of him. But we will move into the championship game, which was a rematch of Team USA versus Canada. Mike, oh God, I hate this dude's.
Aruziani.
Thank you. I hate that last name. It's like my worst nightmare. He started the game by wearing Gaudreau's Team USA jersey, and then Gaudreau chant broke out. I thought that was a really good
Johnny Hockey. Yeah, that was cool.
I mean, especially up in Boston too.
Yeah.
Like he went to school up there, won championships there, won the Hobie Baker up there. I think that was a really good moment for not just him and his family, but I think for hockey in general. I just think that whole thing still is it's still a very big cloud over the season. McKinnon scored really early. Hartley played extremely well, especially he came like fresh off the plane from like going to like on vacation with Wyatt Johnson.
Yep.
Like he like dropped in like the G.I. Joe men.
I thought they said he was supposed to go to this trip, and then as soon as he found out that he was getting the call, they canceled it, and then he like got on the plane and went.
I think Wyatt Johnson still went.
Yeah,
by himself.
Yeah.
It was like him and his girlfriend. And then
Harley's girlfriend.
Yeah,
he canceled everything and was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go play for my boys."
He literally dropped in like a G.I. Joe man from Toy Story. Brady tied it, standing literally in front of the net.
That Sully was sick.
Yes,
he kind of looked like a bobblehead. He was so excited going to the guy. Yeah,
I don't
Let's go, boys!
Right. I don't understand how Matt looks like a GQ model and he looks like the dude from the Goonies. That's like, hey, you got like I don't understand.
He kind of looks like Sid from Toy Story.
Yeah, a little bit. One of my players to watch, Sanderson, who was inserted because McAvoy was unfortunately unable to play, he scored. So
sure did.
I did say watch out if he got in there, and he did, and makes me look like I know what I'm doing here. So
yeah, George LaRock is definitely not. So whatever this guy says, guys, listen to him.
Sam Bennett ended up tying it at 2. He also had about 6 shots before he scored, and I texted you guys, and I was like, Bennett has 5 shots. So, yeah, I mean, you can't give that guy too many opportunities. I feel like he had what 60? I think he had 60 goals last year.
That was Reinhardt.
Oh, Reinhardt had
60.
Sam Bennett, I mean, he does score. He's more of a Tommy Wilson player. He's your aggressor that can score goals.
Yeah.
He won't give you 20 to 30, but he'll get you.
He looked really good, especially in that game.
Mm.
The third period had a lot of chances, and so did overtime. The overtime was nuts.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Jordan Binnington played probably his best game since the Blues went on their Stanley Cup run.
That's definitely a given.
Yeah, I mean Matthews in the slot, he stopped that. He stopped Kachuk on the wing. I mean
there was the big glove save that Corey just demonstrated, and then right off the face-off he did it again.
Yeah,
and at that moment I was like, Canada's winning this game.
We're screwed.
Yeah, I mean you can't.
I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, and we, Team USA, decided to leave Connor McDavid alone in the slot. So I don't really advise that. That's probably
things you don't do in life, right?
Well, if you watch the play, like
death, taxes, Connor McDavid in the slot.
Connor McDavid anywhere. If you like watch, I don't know what the hell Austin Matthews was doing, but he's like if McDavid's like here and the puck's coming this way. Mm-hmm. Matthews is like almost playing goalie.
Double team dude in the corner. He left the slot wide open.
Right.
To go double
what
team.
Are you thinking?
And like Jesus is like
you're literally on like the
up?
guy. Like you're supposed to be Team USA's guy, and that is definitely Team Canada's guy going forward. You're on the guy. Yep. I don't think that'd be like me abandoning Travis in the slot against like him. He'd be like, "What the f are you doing?"
I have a save against Travis.
You pull a Goldberg from Mighty Ducks and just move from the net. Here you go. Here it is, bud.
You know what Travis would do? Hit all 3 bars and go in.
Yeah, like it's just like I just don't know. I don't know if it was just a lapse in judgment. I don't know. That it was just a defensive breakdown, and unfortunately, Canada.
That's our captain.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, Canada took full advantage of it. I think the biggest thing for me coming out of it is I was not a Jacob Slavin fan. I just wasn't.
I have text proof.
Yes, that is true. But he is a true all-around defenseman. I mean, he was everywhere. He is a pain in the ass to play to play against. And if you watch, like, he's always in the lanes. He always gets sticks on it. He came across, I don't know if it was a 2-on-1 or what it was, but he came sliding across, like, blocked a shot with his calf. I've taken those. Those suck.
Mm-hmm.
Like
He's
he
taking
was
this from adult league. He's taking them from NHL players, and they suck in adult league. I can only imagine what they feel like.
right.
NHL.
Like he was all over the place. I think that he really, for people that weren't fans or weren't exactly like, I would say up to speed with like what he does for the Hurricanes, this was like a coming out party for him. Like I think he looked tremendous.
I also feel like with Slavin, I feel like early in his career, that's sort of when Brent Burns went to Carolina. So I feel like people overlooked him because of, like, obviously Brent Burns is, 39 now, 38, 39. Most likely, maybe last year, maybe one more year left in it. But I feel like
they also had Brady Shea too, and he's no longer on that
right.
team.
I feel like he was overlooked. I feel like he had talent back then. Don't get me wrong, but like you said, I feel like this tournament opened a lot of people's eyes. Like Slavin is really, really good defenseman.
Yeah, he is he's a very, very strong defenseman. Just to follow up on another player to watch, Elias Pettersson was non-existent.
He was there.
He just was non-existent. Like I don't know if he's hurt this year. I don't know if he's not. Like I don't know what the hell was his issue this year, but he has taken a significant step back, and I just don't know what's going on with him.
What was his original injury that he was out this year for?
I think it was a lower body injury. It could still be that. He just looks lost. Like he just looks like he's on a land of misfit toys with no toys to play with. Like he's just non-existent. I was because of everybody saying that like Miller and him didn't get along when Team USA played Sweden. I was fully prepared for JT Miller just to run right through him, and it just never happened. But I guess like my question is with how much, like 10 million people watched the championship game.
Mm-hmm.
I was at Permanis. Ty and I were playing tennis, and then I went to Permanis. And we watched the third and the overtime, and like there was not a person in there that was not watching the TV. Like my question is, and I have my own suspicions as to why, but why do you guys think that hockey out of the big four is the least popular?
Do you want to go first or me?
You can go first.
I have two things. I would say one, and it can't, I don't want to say it's a reason, but the NHL makes far less money than all these others. Like, you watch these players that you like, not because of obviously how they make money, but my point going that could go along with this is everybody grows up playing baseball, basketball, football. Yeah, there are people that play hockey, but it's not as popular to join. It's also pretty expensive to play.
It is very expensive.
But
it's the most expensive behind, I think, lacrosse. Lacrosse is really expensive.
I can see that. But, you know, you grow up and you play those three sports more than you would with hockey. And you make those friends that you play all these sports with. You do everything with them growing up. Hockey is kind of in a league of its own to where, yeah, it's the top, or it is one of the top four sports in the country, but it is four because, you know, you only have those select few that get into the game, that play it all from 7 years old developmental, whatever it is.
That, brother. Some of these people
5 and 6 years old
questionably probably learned to skate before they can walk.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have those select few that make it all the way up and they get into the league, but again, it kind of has, in my opinion, the players that make the least money get watched the least. And I don't know, I'm not trying to make it sound like a money thing, but so many more people are invested into these other sports because these are sports you're used to playing, going to watch, everything. And also, I know a lot of people that don't watch hockey because they have no idea what's going on. They don't know the rules. They don't know what the lines mean. Yeah. And you have basketball where you know the point is to just score, put the ball in the hoop. As like hockey, if you don't watch hockey, you put the puck in the net. That's what you do. But like everyone knows what a foul is. Everybody knows what the penalty means in football. Everyone knows obviously everyone knows what baseball is. Baseball is so self-explanatory. But hockey is a very tough game to understand for newcomers. So why would you watch a game that you have no idea what's going on rather than a sport you do know?
Could you imagine like 12 years ago, like Ken's, Court, Greta, like explaining to them what the two-line pass meant?
No. I still have to explain it. And it has nothing to do with her. It's just she doesn't watch it.
Like when me and Courtney started dating, I took her to her first ever hockey game. And the whole entire time, God love her, what's this mean? What's this mean?
Mhm.
What's this mean? I couldn't even imagine 12 years ago trying to explain what a two-line pass meant. Or however long ago it was removed from the league.
Well, that's the thing. You could ask her a question about basketball, and she'd probably know it.
What's a
layup?
three-pointer?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think part of it is, and you touched on it, but I really think it's not only accessibility, but representation. When you are young, it's rare. I looked up prices today because there's a lady I work with that she has two very young kids that play hockey. So we're always talking about the price of equipment. You can get a bucket of baseballs for $30.
Mm-hmm.
A high-end bat's probably what? Two.
Say $250.
Yeah, so your investment cost into baseball, excluding cleats, is $230. One hockey stick is $360.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have to get skates and
Equipment.
nobody can get middle tiered skates. Everybody
Mhm.
got to get the high end skates, and then if you have white skates, well,
And it costs to sharpen them.
yeah, well, not for me, but if you have white skates, you know who you are. You know how people feel about those. But
with the white gloves.
yeah, with the matching white gloves and then the white cage, you're getting chirped.
Advisors.
You're getting chirped beyond belief from me. But you have the helmet, then you have the gloves, then you have the jerseys, then you have for ice hockey, you have the girdles, then you have the the shin pads, there's so much to go into playing hockey that if your parents or you aren't in a financially stable place, it is a very, very hard sport to get into.
For sure.
Then you get into it. So say you get into it, right? Then you get into it, and you then you grow out of your skates. Then you grow out of your equipment. Then you have to go to the next one. And everybody, or especially around here, and I put this on to the impact that Sid and Mario have had here. But everybody thinks they're going to the NHL.
Mhm.
First off, you're not. You're just not. You're getting blown up at
You're setting
RMU.
your expectations way too high.
Yeah, but then you have the travel teams. Then travel teams, it's $3,000 for the travel team,
Mhm.
and it's yeah, okay, but you have even ice teams around here. You have the Foxes, you have Shaha, you have the Predators. There's Vengeances around here. There's a lot.
Great name.
They try to make it as accessible as possible, but it's just not.
Yeah.
It's just not. And with the rising cost of everything, just in terms of life and cost of living, people don't have discretionary income to do that. You can go to Dick's Sporting Goods right now and get a Wilson football for $40 and tell your kids, hey, go outside and learn how to throw.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that with hockey. And the
Yeah.
people, in my experience, because I played baseball before, and I have a lot of friends that played a lot of different sports, and my brother can pretty much play any sport he wants. The mentality to play hockey is a very, very different mentality. And Dill was around my team this weekend, but going into playoffs, the mentality that you have to have and carry yourself with to play hockey. And PK Subban, I think, did a fantastic job.
I love that speech he gave.
Explaining it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a different mentality. It's not and how I describe it is if whatever you think you're capable of, if you're here, when you play hockey and you are working towards something, if this is where you think you are, you have to figure out how to get here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I just think that hockey is still one of, if not the only sport left, that the players put the team before they put themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that exists really anywhere else. Maybe baseball a little bit, but you have Soto making more money than he could ever dream of, and that's great, but it's people aren't invested in baseball. There's people that have never watched hockey that turned it on to watch Team USA for strictly because they're well, we're USA and that's
Mhm.
Canada, so,
Right.
so F them. But there's people that have turned they have no idea what's going on, and now they're hooked into watching it,
Mhm.
and then they have to go to the regular season. It's okay, so imagine you go and you see Sidney Crosby, and you're oh, I'm going to go watch the Penguins. Well, the last 3 games probably isn't the best representation of they get smoked by Washington 8-3. They outplay the Rangers, and they lose 4-3.
Yeah, that was atrocious.
And they get crushed tonight by the Flyers 6-1.
That was the final.
Yeah.
Love it.
I mean, it's
Missed that.
it's just it's one of those things that I love hockey. I will always love hockey. Hockey is a big reason why I'm sitting here today and a lot of the things that I've done in my life. But it sucks that accessibility is probably the main reason why it's not more popular than like where it should be.
Yep. And I mean, like you touched on it too, but like the Olympics is different, obviously, because it's your nation. You're going to root for your nation. I don't particularly think that should, like, if you're talking strictly NHL, there's a lot of cities out there that obviously aren't hockey cities. like you're telling me, right? Like, okay, I was just about to say the Panthers, but they won the cup last year, so not a good example.
He's like, so
But you have the teams that have the NBA and the NHL combined, where I'm going to guarantee you 85% of those people are going to watch basketball over hockey.
Well, look at Los Angeles. I feel like that's a really good example. Like you
Lakers over the Kings?
Yeah, and the King. It's not like the Kings are bad.
No.
Like the Kings have been good for.
But are you going to watch Kopitar and who's the guy I drafted?
Dowdy,
but
Byfield.
Yeah, Quentin Byfield.
You going to watch those guys, or are you going to watch LeBron,
Bronny Jr.
and Luka, and Bronny Jr.
Right, just to see if he could hit a shot.
Right,
But
like you're going to watch.
I do think part of it too is marketability. I think the NHL does a terrible job at marketing their guys. I think it's been a little bit different recently, like especially like the commercials they put on TV, way different than what it was. But like they've done such a poor job for such a long time at marketing guys that, I mean, if you turn in, it's like, who has personality? People know the Kachuk brothers because they fight. Everybody knows Sid, but that's like everyone knows Ovechkin. But like besides,
tonight, by the way.
He's
out 13 left?
12.
12. Oh, baby.
He had a hat trick the other night.
Yeah, he did. Against Edmonton.
Yeah. They scored 15 goals, just an NHL note. They scored 15 goals in 2 games.
Well, they're the number 1 team in the league right now, the Capitals.
Yeah, and
You jumping back on the bandwagon?
No. But this is, I think they're the number 1. I'll look it
They
up.
are. They have 86 points.
Shout out Heinz Ward.
But
and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, the Capitals are playing really, really well. Just to transition a little bit, we're going to go into the trade deadline because by the time we do this again, it'll be past. I saw today that the Stars are super interested in Carlson. They have the cap space of nobody. Like, they have such minimal cap space that I don't think that they're going to be able to get it.
I take them.
I just don't. I don't think they're getting a deal done in. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to him, but like he came here and just like fell off.
Well, we got him right after he won the Norris, right?
Yeah, we paid top price for him, and
puke.
Nothing has happened. I don't think any huge names are gonna move. I would look for the Caps to maybe make a small move. I think for us, like Yoey had touched on this a little bit, but I think the guys on the 1-year deals are probably gone. Like
Grizzlick's not gone anymore because he just got.
Well, he's hurt, but
he got wrecked by Rempe.
Yeah. How many times is that gonna happen before somebody?
Too many.
Zegras crushed somebody too. He got suspended 3 games.
He just came back.
Yeah, Rasmussen.
Oh yeah.
But
Capitals are also in second, 84 points. Winnipeg, 85.
Well, the Caps just won tonight,
Yeah,
I think, so they're at 86.
Okay, Caps are in first. Winnipeg is in second.
And George LaRock is.
George LaRock might be Turkish at this point.
But yeah, I mean, we're moving into. I think the Penguins are just going to continue to tank, and I do see us within a top 7 draft pick this year, which we desperately need. Hopefully, the Rangers can keep themselves outside of that top 13, so we also get that. Because I think if we get 2 first-round picks this year, now next year is definitely the year that a lot of like big guys are coming. But I mean, this year there's a good handful that we could probably get in the first few rounds. But I think that I don't think there's anything to talk about with the Penguins. Like they look disconnected. They look uninterested. They just look uninspired, and
it's hard to watch. I love the Penguins. It's just this is just not the team we're used to watching. We're not used to watching them get blown out 3 games in a row.
Right.
And like everyone's healthy too.
Mm-hmm.
But we're also thinking like Crosby's still in his 20s, Gino's in his 20s. Like Your mentality is like you're still thinking of those guys in their prime, which they're not in anymore. Sid obviously has an exception, but you're not prime Gino, you're not prime Letang anymore. Like our top 3, we love them, but you have to be realistic right now.
It's the exact same thing that happened with the Yankees. It's the Yankees had Pettit, Jeter, and Rivera,
and Hideki Matsui,
and like Pettit really wasn't pitching towards the end of his career. He was doing what Kershaw's doing, where he's like here and there.
Yep.
Rivera was still Rivera, and Jeter was hurt. Like he got hurt a year. He didn't have a great year, and then his last year he played really well, but. I mean that's it. You keep them together for the nostalgia of keeping them together, and like
pretty much all it is.
Like they have earned the right to say I want to be here, and that's why they're here. So that's all I got.
It is what it is. What do you always say? 26 is going to be the year for the Penguins.
That's what you always say. The off season of 26
Yep.
will have like projected like 60
Out.
million cap space,
Yeah.
plus the cap increasing obviously.
Yep.
Hey, you know what else is the year 26?
What's that?
Them Buccos, baby.
Hell yeah.
Right.
2026 World Series. Pittsburgh Pirates.
This year. I'm going to say this year every year until they do it.
that way you're right.
And I'm going to be 6 feet under here by the time they win a World Series.
You were done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Thought that was a good transition. You know,
That's why I let it go.
kill your thunder. Obviously, our baseball man is not here tonight. You got a lot of room over there.
Feels nice. I
Does.
can spread my legs a little bit.
You guys would share a bench.
Nice and comfy. Well, we can't do that.
That's
You'll be down
2 tons of fun and we're the ones.
2 tons of joy.
No, sorry. 2 tons of losing.
Yeah. But, listen, this is my first year getting a hold of things. Okay, I still got to ease back into these games, but we'll get them back.
I'll take over for Tiggs. Moving on to the baseball side of things here. Spring training is officially underway. Pirates played today.
Mm-hmm.
They lost.
Yep. First loss.
Yeah, first loss.
For what it's worth.
Can't go undefeated in spring training.
No.
Impossible.
We're still above 500.
We are still
Hell
above
yeah.
500. We're 2-1. Just little tidbit from today. Brian De La Cruz won the Twins. I think it was Twins again today against us. Former Pirate. Bednar and Holderman both gave up a run. Spring training, it is what it is.
It's midseason.
I don't know.
It's not. It is what it is. Midseason.
They're kind of keeping going from where they left off last year, brother.
All right. Before we get into the Pirates here, just some news in the MLB. Red Sox been
nice.
Look out.
but there is a lot of drama in Boston.
Oh, hell yeah.
There is drama, not the whole MLB, just Boston. Alex Bregman did sign 3 years, $120 million to the Red Sox.
Sure did.
Welcome to the team, buddy.
Devers is pissed because
Real bad.
Devers does not want a DH, and he said third base is fine.
He's not.
That's my position.
Bregman's gonna play second, and everything's gonna be fine.
I'd be very surprised to see what they do. I mean, obviously Devers is their guy. They signed him to a big contract extension. Bregman 3 years, 120. It's a lot of money.
You know who they're actually? Do you know Red Sox rumors? You know who they're actually targeting? Not till next year. Dill's boy, Vlad Jr.
Vladdy.
There's a hefty rumor floating around that
What do you feel about that, Dill?
they are loading for him.
I'd buy his jersey again.
From Clubhouse Cards.
I gotta find a new source because not shout out them because they stole away the auctions that
Ooh.
Yeah,
I
I
think it's
I
my
wonder
fault.
why.
I
It's
think
almost as if somebody fleeced them.
It is my fault, but I'm the one who benefited from it, so I can't be too mad at the end of the day.
It is true.
Dill's like, I paid $10 for a frame signed jersey.
Nice frame too.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how that plays out in Boston here. Obviously, the spring training underway, going into the regular season. The MLB is testing the ABS system in spring training. Each team gets 2 challenges, which they will lose if they stand. The only players that can challenge it are the pitcher, the batter, and the catcher. Have you guys watched any of the spring training? I know that the Pirates have played afternoon games. I've unfortunately have been working for all of those so far. I've seen clips. What's your guys' thoughts on the challenge system?
I think it's good. I think it only benefits. I do think
yeah.
I think it's funny that the umpire has to watch his own mess up
Your shit call,
Yes.
bud.
on the screen.
Yep.
Like somebody challenged it. The ball was like, if this was the strike zone, the ball was like here.
Yep.
And the batter immediately was like this, and the ump looked at him. He's like,
Come on. I was gonna say I'm fine with it, but don't take forever.
yeah, I think that's fair.
I think I've said this before, but every league that has a challenge should have a time frame on it. If it takes more than that time frame, stick what was called on the field, ice, whatever.
Well, with this, from what I've seen, I mean, obviously they did this in the minors last year.
Mm-hmm.
They did this in the minors last year. They're doing spring training this year. It seems like it takes less than 10 seconds.
Yeah, it is fast. Yeah.
I mean, player hits his helmet, whoever it is, challenges it.
Yep.
They go up on the big board. They say, play is under review. And then what I personally like is the fact that they show the strike zone and where the ball is.
Yep.
I think that's phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you got to do.
Do any thoughts on the ABS system yet?
As long as they do it right, which, like you said, when you show the ball coming into the strike zone, I think that's like the important part. Like, you can't just throw it up on the screen and be like, ball.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's like, that's kind of boring. Like, make it kind of like engaging and be like, oh, for like a half a second, you're like, oh.
Everyone in the crowd is,
But I think it's good for the game. I did see that it's going to mess with catchers' frame jobs, because if you're a good framer, and it's going to mess with that. So I feel like devil's advocate, it might hurt the catchers in the long run.
I think if you put this into the MLB, right, I think the 2-team challenges is fair, because what I saw in the minors last year, it was like unlimited. Like, you could challenge like every single play. In the MLB,
that's annoying.
Correct. The MLB, obviously, as everyone knows, a couple years ago they sped up the pace of play.
Mm-hmm.
If you do this, put a limit on how many challenges you get per game.
Yep.
That continues the fast pace of play, whatever the average time is,
Mm-hmm.
2.5 hours, let's say it is, game time. If you put 2 challenges, number one, it's strategic.
Right.
Like,
those are going to last until the end of the game.
If you're in the first inning, and let's say you have a guy on first with 2 outs and it's a 2-2 count, are you really going to challenge that? I mean, granted, unless it's something like astronomically, that you're going to win. Like, you have to strategically think about like, hey, do I challenge this?
Right.
But in the same breath, you don't have that time to necessarily think, like, because it's not the coach. Like, Derek Shelton's not calling for it.
Yep.
It's the batter, the catcher, and the pitcher. So like Dylan said, framing is going to be a big difference here. But like I said, I think putting a limit on how many you can actually get.
Why is the pitcher and the catcher allowed to do it? I feel like only the catcher should do it.
I mean,
like, that's like a 2 versus 1 opportunity in a way. Because if a pitcher's seeing a strike,
there is,
and the catcher's seeing
2
a
and
strike.
1, so.
But that's what I'm saying is, like, why don't you just let the catcher decide and not the pitcher? Like, why do they both get the opportunity?
From what I've seen so far, I feel like majority of the time it is the catcher calling it.
Yeah, I feel like that makes sense.
They probably have some sort of, like, not relationship, but like going into a game, it's like, hey, the pitcher's like, I want you to call these if you think it is. Because catchers, I played catcher in Little League. Was I good? Maybe. Was I not? Who knows? But I feel like as a catcher, better than the pitcher does if it was truly a strike. Because like Dill said, framing. Like, if you frame something and you move it, like, damn well if
what
that was a
did.
baller.
Yeah.
Damn well you did. And it's so fast. Like, the way that they frame pitches
It's insane.
is insane how fast they do it, that pitchers might not catch,
Right.
on to how quick it is. So I get both sides of it. And then Guardians owner Larry Dolan passes away at 94.
Yeah.
His autos were in tops this year, weren't they?
Maybe.
I think they were.
I have no idea.
I think they were in tops because I saw someone post. I'm pretty sure it was him. A card here. Moving
Was that
on.
the one for like $10,000?
No, it's Larry David.
Oh,
Maybe it was Larry Davis I was seeing. I don't know. I saw somebody that they had a card that
I had Larry right.
Larry, not Bird.
No.
Might be fake.
Never.
Moving on to our beloved Buccos here. Like I said, 3 games in. Yesterday's game got rained out. Unfortunately, Skeens was supposed to
Yeah, it
pitch.
sucks. And most of the starters were going to play.
But most of the starters did play today.
Yep.
We'll get into that in a second here. But just some contract talk here. Jose Quintana declined a 1-year, $5.5 million deal with the Pirates.
I don't blame them.
There's a couple teams that are interested in signing him. In my opinion, we didn't sign him. We brought in Andrew Haney on a 1-year, $5.25 million deal.
Take it.
Do I hate it? No. There's unfortunately fortunately and unfortunately, a logjam at starting pitching, right? I've talked many times about our starting pitching, our depth that we currently have, right? Skeens, Jones, Keller. They're 1, 2, and 3, without a doubt, right? 4, if everybody is on the team, Bailey Falter. 5, Andrew Haney for your opening day rotation.
Mm-hmm.
You guys agree?
I would.
My opinion, Oviedo's either going to start on the IL or start in AAA. The reason I personally think if he doesn't start on the IL, he'll start in AAA. Options. And number 2, he's coming off of Tommy John. Coming off Tommy John, seeing live action, right? Spring training is great. You can go out, pitch 2 innings, 1 inning maybe, be on a pitch count, and you're done.
Yep.
You come to the MLB, if you're not fully healthy, you're not going out pitching 1 inning.
No.
Start him in AAA, let him eat 2 innings, start him on 2 innings, and then move him up, bring him up when he's fully healthy. So I think he'll start in AAA. I think with Andrew Haney, if nobody were to get traded here before opening day, I think that just solidifies Bubba Chandler starting in AAA to start this season. As everybody knows, the James is a big, huge, ginormous Bubba Chandler guy.
I am.
He pitched. He made his spring training debut. I personally didn't watch the game.
I did. He was zipping balls.
He also has a six dash.
He does. He was on foul territory. Was at the Pirates game today, and him and his girlfriend were somehow mistaken for Skeens and Livy Dunn. When now Skeens, as everyone knows, has a beard.
Yeah,
thought that was funny.
That's level 2.
Yeah,
look out.
That's Skeens Jr. So, like I said, he'll most likely start in AAA. I feel like that they'll do the same thing they did with Skeens. Call him up in May at some point. Like I said, there's a logjam starting pitching. Would I love them to trade Falter? No. If it meant going to the Orioles or a team that is loaded with outfielders, 100%. You trade Falter, that opens the door for Chandler for opening day. Not obviously opening day roster, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. Moving on here, O'Neal Cruz, obviously our everyday center fielder. There's a lot of speculation that people think he could potentially win a Gold Glove in center field.
It's just because of how much ground he can cover running.
Well, he also has a rocket for an arm. If he can be accurate with that thing, maybe.
I feel like, obviously, we had a small sample size, him in center field last year. It'll be a full season this year. We'll see how, obviously, he had all off season, spring training to work on perfecting his game in his new position. Like Jay said, he covers a lot of ground.
Sure does.
And like you said, he has a cannon. You put those two together, cut out the errors.
You have the potential, for sure.
There's definitely a lot of potential here. Like I mentioned, Foul Territory was at the Pirate game today. They interviewed some players and coaches after the game. So they had Kutch on. Kutch was talking. Before I move on, I didn't personally listen to it, but they asked him about what he thought on Mike Trout moving to DH. I didn't listen to it, but my take on it is it's great. Move him to DH because he's already moving to right field. They said he's moving on from center to right. Just put him at DH. It's Mike Trout. Dude's been hurt how many times over the last couple of years?
Mm-hmm. He doesn't have anything to prove anymore.
Right.
Put him at third base because their third baseman hasn't touched the field in a long time.
Who?
Yeah. Anthony Rendon. Got the bag and said, see you later. But just some tidbits on what Kutch said during his interview. I don't know if you guys saw it. You might have read what happened here, but Kutch said he's only taken 10 at-bats this spring. Said it's all he needs.
Yeah, it's another guy who needs no, warm-up, if that's what you want to call it.
Right.
He knows what he's doing.
Right. He's, 37?
Yeah, it does
somewhere
not need spring
up
training.
there. No. He's just there for the vibes at this point.
Yeah, enjoy a little vacation.
Right. Nice weather in Florida. Minus the rain. He actually he said he wants to hit 6 this year. Said he hates leading off. He says that he personally thinks that Hayes should lead off this year. His reasoning behind not wanting to lead off is because if he draws a walk, a long at bat, gets on base somehow, then he's running the bases for Cruz and Reynolds.
Right.
So it's like trying to decrease that running for him. He said running is the hardest thing he can do right now. Like I said, he's up there in age. He said he might have.
So sad to hear. Dang it.
He said he might have 1-2 years left in the tank.
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll see how this year goes. it's Andrew McCutcheon, right?
Is his mom singing national anthem opening day?
Probably.
Did she last year?
Yep.
Don't remember that.
I feel like she always does. I don't remember most of these games, or at least opening day. But I feel like that's like a ritual at this point. But anyway,
we did see his wife in the parking lot at Cleveland last year when we almost hit Brian
Dodgers?
Reynolds. Yes.
We almost plastered Brian Reynolds.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was like,
good.
that's Brian Reynolds. I'm like, Brian, woo! After we just won, he was probably like, who those losers. And then Shelton was on too, and Shelton said that he's projecting Skeens to get 30 starts this year.
Good.
So, doesn't seem like, at least as of right now, they have a limit on Skeens outside of the 30 starts.
You definitely shouldn't. This is his second year now.
He said Skeens 82 games.
Yeah. He said, you're healthy. You know what? Pitch every day.
Yeah.
You can do it. They actually talked to Chandler about him pitching because like they pitch obviously in the games. He's pitching like every 2-3 days down there because only the couple innings. And basically what he said, and the guys from Foul Terror were like, oh, okay, okay. Because I think they were hinting at like him making the opening day roster, but like I said, personally, I don't think he will, just because of the 5 that we have right now. Moving on to just some spring training notes here. Matt Gorski started off spring real hot with 2 home runs, solo shot and a grand slam.
Yeah, not small shots either.
No,
Absolutely pounded the ball.
I saw the videos of him, and they were rather long.
They were rather further hit than most.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they weren't small. They weren't like barely making it over the fence.
Yeah, no.
Nuked him. Connor Griffin made his debut and gets his first career RBI.
Love to see it.
Yeah,
Kid's a stud.
he is. We'll see how long, where he starts this year. My guess is probably single A.
I was gonna say double, but
Probably single A. Probably end up in double if I were to guess. I think Tamar probably starts in double, ends in triple.
those guys are just creeping up the ladder. Can't wait.
Speaking of Tamar, he also collected his first RBI this spring.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about a dude who hits nukes. Like I was talking to someone at work today. We met him at Pirates Fest. He's just a tank.
Mm-hmm.
He's all maybe a 5'9" on a good day, and he just hits nukes.
Jalen Warren.
Correct. And what I was talking about was like, how many second basemen can you remember that have had like the power that he has? Outside of Robinson Cano, because obviously he did steroids.
Yeah. I mean,
In the last like 10 years, is there any second baseman that comes to mind that has the potential to hit nukes?
Altuve.
I probably couldn't name more than 3, if I'm being completely honest with you.
where does Ozzie Albies a second baseman?
He plays
Yep.
second.
I don't know if he hits nukes, but he can definitely hit the ball.
Yeah, 20 he averages like 20. I would say for a second baseman, 20 home runs is pretty good.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Speaking of the ABS challenges, DeLay had a successful win in one of their openings. Derek Shelton also said that Cabrera looks healthiest he's ever seen. Said that a lot of his decline last year was due to his back injuries, and back injuries aren't really a thing to be messed with in baseball.
Well, he's also young too, so as long as he's healthy, for sure, and that two-handed swing is looking nasty.
Yeah. There's a battle at first base. Do you see who played first base today?
Yes.
Big battle. Adam Frazier played first base.
I want to throw up. I'm sick and tired of like our infielders going anywhere else but like where they're designed to play.
Yeah. I mean, what you sound like right now is one of the people that this is the third spring training game. Doesn't matter.
Sign a true first baseman.
I mean, you're not wrong. We did. We traded for one. He's just unfortunately hurt.
Yeah, that sucks.
I personally think that probably the opening day first baseman at this point will probably be Triolo. That's my hot take guess. Obviously, he played
Not
well
for the
enough
pod.
last year to not for the pod. He played well enough last year, I think, to solidify a starting
Gold Glover.
spot. He is a Gold Glover, utility Gold Glover right there. If Hayes is healthy, obviously third's his. Personally, I would like them to move like IKF to second. Gonzalez played select few games last year at short. Let Peguero get a chance. I don't think he makes opening day roster. But I think IKF is probably more comfortable at second. But we'll see how that goes. And just a question for you guys here is, what player are you looking forward to seeing most in spring?
I mean, I love watching Connor Griffin and Tamar. That's obviously a good dynamic duo there. I mean, this Golski guy, or Gorski,
Matt
who is
Gorski.
it? Yeah. I mean, if you're going to hit bombs like that, I would love to see what else you can do. I've never heard of this guy.
He's been one of our prospects for the last couple of years now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
I
would
mean,
say probably top 20 prospect.
doing what he's doing, like, yeah, go do your thing, man. Make your name noticed right now. I'll watch those 3 all day.
Do I really gotta say mine?
Don't.
I think we all know who mine is.
Mine is not a single player. It's just the catchers. Obviously, we have delay, right? Probably number 4. Then you have Endy coming off of also Tommy John. He made his spring debut. I think he had a single or a double. I think he had a double off the wall and 2 walks. Big year for Endy here. Obviously, even bigger year for Davis. And then Joey Bart, who loves, what was that Mexican place?
Condado.
Condado.
I
Loves
don't think
Condado.
Hank isn't on the same page as, like, Jack right now.
No.
I
Next year, if it happens.
I was going to say.
If it happens, if what happened last year happens this year, he's in the same boat next year. However, I will say his swing looks a lot better this year. He
did.
He's been
Revamp
working
his
on it,
swing.
yeah. I've seen all the videos on Twitter.
I think it's shorter. I think he went back to the shorter stance. Because remember when he made his debut? It was
He
super
starts way down. He, like, crouches real far.
wide. You think the battle at first base is a lot. I think the battle of catcher is bigger than first. Because at first, you don't know who's going to play there until Horowitz is healthy, right?
Everyone's going to take their turn.
Right.
Kutch might play first.
I doubt it. Anyone but Kutch, honestly, probably has a decent chance. But, like, at catcher, I mean, how many catchers are you going to run on your roster?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, your bench.
Hank kind of proved himself in right. Kind of just saying. I like to watch him in the outfield. Pretty entertaining. You want to talk about rocket arm out there?
Him and Cruz?
Mm-hmm.
Granted, was he the best at, like, track and fly balls?
Not the best.
No.
Don't run home on the guy, though.
You hit it to left field, you can run for as long as you want.
Mm-hmm.
Center and right, you're hosed.
Yeah.
The dude did have a cannon out there. I think they tried the experiment. I mean, obviously Josh Bell came up in the league, played right field,
Yep.
moved to first.
Joey Bartz is our starter, though.
Oh yes, he solidified that last year.
Yep.
The way that he performed, that he's our starting catcher moving forward. But I mean, that's been one of, in my opinion, Sherrington's best moves so far in his tenure in Pittsburgh, and we got him for free. So I think this is a big spring and an even bigger first 3 months of the season for both Davis and Endy, because you know what you're getting out of delay.
Mm-hmm.
You know that he's not making them day roster. He's going to be a AAA guy, unless we move him for some odd reason, which I don't think we do. But Davis and Endy have a lot to prove. Obviously, Davis has more to prove than Endy does because Endy's coming off of an injury.
Yep.
But I'll be very surprised to see what they decide to do at the catching position. I think that Endy's another guy that might start the year in AAA. Get same thing coming off an injury. Just get some at bats, some reps under his belt. But we'll see moving forward. Obviously, we have a long spring to go here. Not very many games are televised.
No, it sucks.
I know, it honestly does. I think about a little over half of them are televised, and probably most of them are probably when I work, so I won't be able to watch probably very minimal spring training Pirates.
I think I've watched one full game. It was on the weekend.
Yeah,
But
I think
I
they
mean-
played. It was either Saturday or Sunday they played.
They played Saturday in the day.
It was against Baltimore.
Yeah.
That's when I watched.
I think it was a 10-5 win. I think that was a 10-5 win. So obviously, baseball's back, baby. Lot to come.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah. Hopefully, there's not a lot of drama.
Oh, there's going to be drama.
There's always drama, especially when Tiggs comes back. A lot of drama.
Can't wait.
Home openers, roughly 5 weeks out, just about. I think March or April 5th.
Yep.
I think it's April 5th or 4th.
It's April 4th.
At 4/12.
Always at 4/12. So we're right around 5 weeks out, give or take a couple extra days.
Bring on the Yanks.
Yeah,
We're going to sweep them. Oh, it's going to be so easy.
they have to, like I've said before, they have to find a way for Cole versus Skeens in Pittsburgh. They have to mimic their rotation.
It might honestly just be opening day.
That would be so sick. Come out firing.
It's actually going to be Stroman and Falter. That's
Yeah,
what's
Dill's like,
Son of
yes.
Yeah. That'll honestly, like, let whoever, when I know who the starting lineup's going to be for pitching is going to let me know how much I got to drink beforehand.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Jones was our opening day starter last year.
Yeah, that was
home opener,
yep.
right?
Yep.
Not a fan.
Ooh. So we'll see. I mean, there in my eyes, like
it has to be Skeens and Colt.
there's no way that it's not right. You have the biggest name pitcher in baseball right now in Paul Skeens. Garrett Cole, top 5. Obviously, he's an ex-Pirate. Opening day,
the stars are just lining up.
Home opener, Pirates Yankees in Pittsburgh. I don't think there's a better matchup.
That'd be such a draw.
Like if I'm the MLB, I'm calling both teams. I'm like,
rest them.
This is what you're doing. Like
Yes.
Rest them until this day.
Yeah, like
it's happening.
I don't care what you want to do. You're doing this.
We'll give your teams $2 million each.
Yeah.
Bob Nunning's like, let's go.
Yeah.
He's like,
right in the
there's
pocket.
actually a new flavor of Wiggle whiskey coming out.
Yeah.
I think the Pirates open up with 7 on the road to start the
Yeah,
season.
it's a tough scene for them before home opener.
I think they start 7 on the road. So realistically, Skeens can start opening day and still pitch. I think they play. For some reason, I'm thinking Tampa.
I have no idea what their schedule is. I haven't looked at it.
Marlins and Tampa. So I was half right. Is it 5? Yeah, they play 4.
Well,
they
that's
play
baseball.
4 against the Marlins and then
Yeah.
3 against Tampa. So
NBA would have a fit.
I'll just completely on topic, off topic here. I'll be very surprised to see like what Tampa does with their stadium situation.
They're playing at the
They're playing at the Yankees,
Yeah.
minor league stadium, but like
That sucks.
it sucks for them.
they're getting a new roof. They already said that.
So they're not moving. It's in the same spot, just getting a new roof. Have you ever been there before?
I've been to the outside of it.
I've been to the outside. I've never been inside of there. I've been to the outside before.
I said they ought to just leave the shell on the roof. I think it looks sweet. Just take all that crazy, you know what, down because of that terrible storm, but leave the shell on.
You know how much it rains in Florida, buddy?
I don't care.
A lot.
Rain delays. It's a thing for us.
Rain delays. There'd be rain cancellations.
Well, guess what? Build a roof.
Corey said George LaRock. The Rock. George LaRock is Canadian.
It could be. I don't know yet. I'm
But-
going to do research.
A lot to come here. I think we'll have most likely 2 podcasts before, 2 podcasts definitely before the Pirates home opener.
Mhm.
We'll all be there in attendance. Like Corey said, for some of us, depending on the starting pitching, some of us might have to
Responsibly.
drink responsibly beforehand. But we'll see. I love baseball. Baseball's back. Pirates are the Pirates, though. So big things happen. The Central's anybody's, in my opinion. Was it Jason Kendall said today that this team could be in a pennant race, or was that yesterday?
No, it was Jason Kendall and it was today, and I think that the Reds have a very good chance to be first this year.
I think the only team that makes it out of the Central is everyone's the division. I don't think there's a chance and hope that an out Central team is in the wild card. Could be wrong. I think 86 wins you the division.
So that's Central, probably.
I'm sure in one of our upcoming podcasts we'll give our record predictions as we did last year, and we'll see who's right.
I'm not jumping in the river. I'm not even putting that on like a maybe. It ain't happening.
On that note, we're going to our hot takes here for our next episode. I said that Pitt Wrestling will have a wrestler place first in the ACC tournament. It is next weekend. ACC's tough. It's a tough division or tough conference. I believe it's in Duke or North Carolina, one of the two. I think Dill might be looking up. Not really sure. Okay. No. Dill, what do you got?
I'm going to say the Penguins are going to be in dead last of the Eastern Conference come next
They
podcast.
might be dead last in the league.
Yeah.
They are currently 2 points out of dead last. It goes to Sabres at 53 points, the Penguins at 55 points. I'm sticking with the Eastern Conference, but they're not going to be dead last because the Sharks are bad.
Well, they got about 28 points.
38.
That was close.
38. But the Penguins are 6th worth 7th. 7th worst in the league right now. So not good.
Top 5 pick. Here we come.
Yep.
Yeah. The James said 7th. How about 5th? Go Zach.
I said that the Penguins are going to make 2 or more moves at the deadline, but I do believe that Carlson and Raquel will be staying put.
I think Raquel's staying put 100%. I think that, just a little off topic here, because you didn't really talk about Raquel today. I feel like he stays put because the Penguins aren't in a total rebuild.
No, I think so. I think, like Yogi said, it's going to take a really good offer to move him. I just don't think that offer is coming this year.
I don't think so either. Corey?
So we eased in a little bit of college basketball today, so I'm going to stick with that. Number 17, Kentucky, is playing the number 1 team, Auburn, this Saturday. I think Kentucky upsets the number 1 team in the country. Kentucky's ranked 17th. Auburn, number 1. We're looking for a little upset on Saturday.
They're spread out? Curious.
No idea, but it's going to happen.
Might be a little too early for a spread. I'm just curious. Tiggs isn't here, but he said Connor Griffin's going to hit his first hour. I don't know what an hour is here.
His first hour? Get it in his first hour?
Tiggs said Connor Griffin's going to hit his first home run.
Yep.
So we'll see how that plays out for him. Obviously hoping for the best for Connor Griffin. Hoping the worst for Tiggs. Let's see here. Saturday, you said they play?
If that hits, I'm bringing a Mickey Mouse glove.
For who?
Tiggs.
Yeah, I mean, I should just say, oh, Gorsy's going to hit another home run.
There will be a hit in the next Pirates game.
No spread out for that game yet. But I'm sure that...
Kutch takes 3 steps on the field.
I mean, they play a lot of games for the next pod. So that isn't Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, that's not even just Mickey Mouse. That's like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Like that's
with the theme song playing in the background the whole time.
Yeah, like he walked in the door and he's like, "Hey,
what's up?"
Yeah.
You want to give your Goofy impersonation?
No, that's no.
Episode 49 of the books. Next one's the Big 5-0. Any last remarks?
By the time we sit here again, I'll be retired from coaching with another championship, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah. Championship starts this Sunday?
Yep.
This Sunday. Championship number, 13?
I'm going for 5 in 4 years.
The James said, I'm so good I won twice in 1 year.
Murray did that.
Who?
Matt Murray.
He won twice in 1 year?
No.
You need to go.
Dude, I don't know where that came from.
I'm like
George the Rock, big Team USA guy.
Remember when he said that Aaron Rodgers played baseball too?
Okay. So we'll see you for episode 50 and whatever you say, get yins and get out.
Big old 5-0. Next episode, Tiggs hopefully back. We'll see. Good luck tomorrow. Hope for the best. On that note, get yins or get out. We'll see you next time. Peace.
What a pro wants, what a pro needs.
Fucking hot. Boom! I'll grab it.
Aaron Rodgers, we were just talking about football.
Hot start.
Yep. We can cut that out and restart.
Speaking of looking better than ever, that hat goes hard, Tiggs. Kind of like it.
Tell you.
We're the ones. You're the twos.
Next.